Well, one of Australia's most influential Aboriginal leaders, Yunupingu, has died at the age of 74. Today, he's remembered as a powerful advocate for the interests of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people right across this country. And joining me live is the former Minister for Indigenous Australians, Ken Wyatt. Mr Wyatt, it's great to have you on the program. He was a giant of a man, wasn't he?
He was, and it wasn't just giant of a man, but he was a giant amongst elders. His vision, his career, and the way he lived his life through his culture, but straddling two worlds, his influence was immense across numerous governments. And I had the privilege of working with him in my term, and his sage advice, wise counsel, and his involvement with The Voice was a driving factor in keeping us grounded and considering it from a community upwards approach as opposed to a government downwards. And I enjoyed every moment I had with him, and my heart and my thoughts go out to his family and to his community.
How did he feel about The Voice and the current debate at the moment, and how do you feel about his passing, his leadership, and the sadness, I think, in the fact that he never saw that full constitutional recognition?
It's sad that he won't see the result of the referendum, but I do know that the Prime Minister contacted him in respect to the words and his announcement, and I'm given to understand that he was awake during the Prime Minister's announcement and was pleased to see that we had progressed that far. His involvement in The Voice goes back to the first committee that Julia Gillard, as Prime Minister, established, and I had the privilege of working with him in 2011 onwards. But over that period of time, he was always a strong advocate for Aboriginal people to be at the table, to be party to decisions. But his frustration was the letdown by various governments over a period of time who gave commitments. And that's why Marcia Langton's words about the truth burns, I heard him express a very similar view. And his wit, which was quite a wily wit, when he said, "I'll throw the Constitution in the water because it is not helping us to sit at the table as equals." So his cultural leadership, his guidance, and his personal drive will impact on so many of us across this nation, because we've all been touched by him at different times. And that includes non-Indigenous Australians and the leadership of this nation.
Yeah, absolutely. He's unique, and that is, to put it very lightly. It's hard to find the right words to really convey the weight he threw around in a polite way in this country. And he's someone that will have as much as an effect in death that he did in life. What do you say to your party this morning when it comes to moving forward with the debate on constitutional recognition and The Voice?
Well, in walking with Galarrwuy, both of us had the view that not only the coalition, but all parties come together for the good of this nation, that the coexistence and the alignment of our aspirations with that of Australia should be brought together and involve us in the way in which we shape not only our future, but the future for our grandchildren. And in all the discussions I had with him, he said to me, "Your journey will be tough." He said, "But I'm always here should you need to reach out." And I was always reassured when I caught up with him that his view was that the coalition did have a heart. It just took a matter of time to convince those who were naysayers to walk with us and to have a better outcome, because we can't continue to have the gaps in our Aboriginal communities that we see on a daily basis in a first world nation. So it is about revering his spirit, his strength, his leadership, but the legacy that he leaves behind for all young Indigenous Australians who are aspiring to be leaders. Walk in humility, walk in truth, and believe that you are on the right pathway to bringing about the changes that are necessary for this nation.
It's an important debate and we shouldn't shy away from it. But the Liberal Party is going to meet on Wednesday. What should happen there? Should there be a conscience vote? Should they provide an alternative? What is it in your view?
Look, I'd like them to endorse the approach to the constitutional recognition and the voice. However, I'm also conscious in my time within the party, there are many who don't hold that view at all, in fact, strongly oppose it. But I would hope that the leadership will give members a conscience vote to allow them to demonstrate the support that I have seen them manifest in the time I was in Parliament towards Aboriginal people and Aboriginal communities. And I think of the endeavours of some of the individuals who, within their own seats, work very closely with Indigenous Australians in the same way they work with anybody else. And that really enlightened my sense of optimism about the voice getting up. But I would just say to the leadership, allow a conscience vote to enable this country to move forward.
Ken Wyatt, it's a pleasure to talk to you this morning. Great to have you back on the program. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Laura.